start in this meta is you don't necessarily need to have this great teamfight coordination like in Spring where you had the MFs, the Jarvans, things along those lines.
Plus, I kind of love that we're seeing a TF in Angel's hands. Before TF was meta, this was Angel's pocket pick, remember? And he was the only one to bring it out in the LPL. So it's been a while since we've seen him on 2 games, of course, played so far. This will be his 3rd. For OMG, Icon played this recently against Vici. He's going to show us once again here in Game 1, running into the Twisted Fate lane.
I also like it because when we saw OMG play Vici, they just pretty much drafted scaling comps all 3 games, and it looked like something they were very comfortable on, especially when you know you're probably the worst team, right? Like you don't have those... You don't necessarily have that trigger finger to look for these advantages. Just pick something like the Azir, get something like the Senna or the Aphelios in the bot lane. We saw the Kog'Maw come out from SMLZ before as well. And then, you know, just kind of gamble on these late-game team fights.
I was just thinking in my mind. Plays AP Kog'Maw for his last game, and then Eric comes in. Is there any correlation there? I'm not going to speculate. What are we going to see in the jungle here, though? You did talk about the potential of seeing the Lee Sin on someone like OMG. Could be a counter pick in the jungle.
Yeah, and I mean, Lee Sin has been one of SOFM's go-tos, so he keeps hovering it. It's his 2nd most played champion this split, and obviously, you know, a very renowned SOFM pick. So when you already have so much early and mid-game power in your composition, I kind of like that they're just going full force in that aspect.
Okay. Build up the strong jungle, now into the 2nd ban phase. We've got supports to be picked up here for both teams. Solo laners as well, depending on where that volley bear is going to go for OMG, but in the past has gone towards Hacker. Curses preferred others. Hasn't actually played the volley. No, excuse me, only once for Curse, so expect Hacker to pilot.
Exactly. I definitely expect it to be a jungle pick, especially with the, you know, the Graves being banned out by OMG and then Suning picking up the Lee Sin, so jungle pool a bit restricted right now. Definitely expect Suning to go towards support on the next rotation. I think we could see Sword Art go towards something like a Leona, something like a Nautilus, right? One of our more generic supports that we see pretty much every game. Just keep indexing more into the engage role. I mean, you already have so much kite and disengage from OMG. I really feel like with Suning's first 3 picks, they need something that can continue to push the pace of the game.
Isn't it crazy that his most played is Bard, though? Like, you wouldn't pick Sword Art as a Bard player. At the start of the split, you mentioned this on broadcast. Though it is banned away, you mentioned things like the Nautilus here, still up and available. Suning banning away supports, then changing towards Ornn. So, top lane ban rolling through. The Kayle was banned, so that gave some indication to Suning.
Yeah, a lot of top lane bans, but Suning could be a team that would go for counter pick support, but the fact that we're most likely going to get right along the lines of the Nautiluses, Leonas, Set, Thresh, a lot of like neutral lane matchups that it really feels like you yourself need to make a mistake for the enemy to find a kill. I'd much prefer Suning to just counter pick top, especially since we highlighted how important that matchup will be.
And how well Bin has been doing. 20 seconds.
To be fair though, right, picking engage supports into Ezreal can be quite annoying, even as you're having the mobility in his kit, but the Nautilus, I think, is the best choice right here.
Dredge line then with depth charge. Arcane Shift's already out. How else is he going to escape? Sword Art back to comfort, while OMG, a couple of options. This Monkey's been seeing a lot of play.
Yeah, and I would expect OMG to go this route. You definitely want to index more into some AD damage, so probably the best blind pick still available. It definitely opens up a lot of options for Bin on the other side because we still have things like the Mordekaiser open. You could go with the Jax, the Kennen, so a lot of things that could go into a side lane or even work with just accelerating the pace of the game with these team fights.
Fun part about these 2 top laners is they have the same first 2 picks. Renekton most played, then Wukong next most played, so Bin doesn't have one of his favorites. While Sora has shown us that he is a Taric player, but with this comp, is this what you want to see?
I feel like pretty much anything you go here is going to be a wash, so maybe something like the Braum I'd like a bit more because it definitely gives you a bit more, I'd say, like straight early skirmishing power as compared to a Taric where you definitely, like, you hardcore need your level 6 to come online. But yeah, I think it's fine. The thing is, OMG have a very clear identity of what they want to do, right? The second they locked in the Azir and the Ezreal, we knew how they wanted to play this game and what spikes they were looking for. Now the question for me is, where does Suning go here? Like, I could see them going with something like a Jax, honestly. It just seems like it fits Bin's champion pool. Well, there we go.
Or the Camille.
Right.
Even better.
Right in the same vein. I think the Jax actually has a better lane matchup into the Wukong, but we've seen Bin play this lane matchup before, and he actually stomped that lane really hard. It is Bin's signature pick.
We saw Xiaoshang and EDG yesterday, the day before, Game 1 against Gimgoon. Absolutely destroy Gimgoon, who was on Wukong, so we know how the matchup goes a little bit better.
It's one of those things where I actually feel like Wukong has some windows to play around
really?
with his E and his clones because you can try and bait out the Camille shield to be a magic shield since your E does magic damage, and then walk away, walk back up and auto, and, you know, have a bit more trading power with those auto attacks. So it's an interesting one, but more holistically talking about compositions, right? Suiting, we know, it's a stock and standard pick composition. They have some elements of side lane. We don't expect Angel to be the one pressuring towers, but Bin will. You'll have some options to create picks with both of them since the Camille will, of course, run TP. For OMG, it's just about creating time in the early game for this Azir and Ezreal to come online. But Suiting definitely have the tools to outpace them. Okay,
outpacing with the Twisted Fate and Camille. We've seen this over many regions so far with the Ashe paired up. And how the map can be influenced with, you know, the semi-globals that we have with Ashe, with the Twisted Fate Destiny too. But running in, Suiting, the heavy favorites. We're not going to BS you. We're going to run a bit of truth here. Lyric, Suiting a 9-3, OMG a 3-9. It's role reversal with score, and it's Suiting who are looking pretty damn good to continue their win streak. Currently sitting at 7 series wins in a row. Can OMG disrupt? Can they be the pain in Suiting's side? I'm sure we'll soon find out as we get our Bin and Curse matchup. We get the Camille versus the Wukong, and we get our car to ride comfortably in and Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what SOFM does because he has options in pretty much all of his lanes, right? You have set up with the Twisted Fate Gold card. You have some setup in bot lane coming out from the Dredge line, especially once you get to level 6 with both those champions. And even top lane having the lockdown with the Camille, especially at the level 6 mark is where we're going to see Suiting be able to pop off. And even Angel can look to both sides, right? You have the Hextech Ultimatum from Bin to lockdown Curse if you want to try and get him ahead, but you have all those tools around bot side. I would say once we hit that level 6 point, though, we expect to see Suiting playing more on bot and trying to, you know, start stacking up those Drakes.
Okay. When we get towards that bot lane at 6, we'll keep a quick eye out. I want to note that Eric will be starting off his first game in the LPL ever here on the Ezreal. Has opted in for the cleanse against the Ashe, so a lot of safety with the Arcane Shift on side. And for OMG, I mean, you at least want to see something towards next year. When we already have that open casket for them, we're thinking, well, what are they going to do next? Is Icon walking into River? Okay, a bit of blue card.
Let's also remember for OMG, just to give them a bit of a highlight, that Icon did extremely well into Zika in all 3 games against Vici.
Wow. Sorry, just got to pause. Eric,
yeah, I mean, that was not exactly the start you wanted.
Nope. And, yeah, Icon see us so damn well through all games against Zika.
And he didn't necessarily have good lane matchups either, right? He was picking the Azir into the LeBlanc. He had the Azir against the Akali in game 2. Orianna against Zoe. So it was always Zika picking the matchups.
Well, we see more interesting trading down bot in the meanwhile. Eric and Sora getting forced back. I'm glad we get a quick look at Top, who's already beefing heads as well. Hextech sweep started off with for Bin.
Yeah, and it makes sense because you don't really want to all in a Wukong level 1, you know, with his passive being able to stack that armor as well as getting all that health regen. So I like the start coming out from Bin.
Now hits level 2 himself. Curse goes forward, gets the armor shield, and I like that little interaction you talked about. It's very interesting where the Wukong clone procs a magic damage shield.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's why you want to hold off on auto-attacking right away when you use that ability.
So far, Bin looking pretty damn good. We're staying up here because I feel like Curse going to be crucial to these trades. SOFM going towards mid lane and Icon. Okay, walks away.
So this goes back to what we said, to where you do have the options as SOFM to pretty much invade anywhere you want.
Hacker running in. Oh, the police getting angry.
Yeah, and Hacker will win this isolated 1v1 against Lee Sin. I mean, Volibear and Set, right? These bruiser early game junglers have a lot of dueling power in the isolated 1v1. Icon has push, so he feels very comfortable to try to get in SOFM's face.
I mean, straight towards the red buff here. Aggression being used.
Hacker also already has a red buff, so pretty scary for SOFM.
Icon's coming in behind. I'm not sure if he was spotted out by that defensive ward, but you can see Angel's already moving. Gold card will need to be used to stop the aggression. Red buff is taken by SOFM nicely. Safeguards back to his mid laner. He's level 4 versus level 3, but stops right there, and Hacker wastes a bit of time.
Yeah, overall just great play from SOFM with the Sonic Wave and the smite. Oh!
Eric flashes forward, needs Arcane Shift. The Dazzle flashed away by Juan Fong, and Suiting's bottom lane over aggressive themselves.
And this is a bot lane we praise so much. Juan Fong and Sorter, we said, hey, these two look so good this split. Eric, a rookie. Sora a rookie as well, actually. He's played very few series. They have a very weak 2v2. Ezreal Taric, not strong at all in the early laning phase, but great job by Eric, clearly hitting a lot of Mystic shots and Sora hitting that Dazzle.
Definitely a bit of context needed here. Oh,
okay.
no! That's why.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no.
it happens.
Yeah, it does.
You know, he's been to Worlds a lot. He's been to MSI.
Oh, man, that's so...
He gets a pass.
I feel like,
I think.
and the fact that he survived there is good, but, you know, that's me being optimistic about the situation.
You know, the thing is, knowing Sword Art too, I bet he did that, and I bet he was laughing the whole time.
Oh, probably.
Because Sword Art is a very jovial player.
He's such a nice dude, yeah.
If you guys ever watch player cams after their losses, a lot of times Sword Art will come be like, haha, guys, don't worry, slap Huanfeng on the back, we'll go next.
Have you seen there's face-to-faces? Clement did an interview with him, one of the first episodes of Face-to-Face on the LPL English YouTube channel.
I have not. Come on, give me the ad. Advertise the series to me.
Oh, yeah, we're not running it anymore, but I can say it was absolutely awesome. Met Sword Art for the first time. You're right, very jovial man. We just saw Hacker down in the bottom lane. He was backing, waiting for Suning to go a bit too far forward or get an opportunity within the lane, but does complete the back in time.
Also, just guaranteed that back coming out from Sora as well.
Yep.
And I mean, in mid lane, this is actually what we expect, kind of moving over to Icon and Angel, to where Twisted Fate has no threat on the Azir. You really don't have any way to force trades. I guess you could throw out Qs and try to poke him out, but you're just wasting your mana pool at that point in time. Icon just throw a W in the middle of the wave. Going to have a very easy time getting push onto Angel early on.
And now we talked about the compositions here, and you talked about our OMG, their ability to, you know, scale up, get the Azir and Ezreal towards those items, but I'm guessing Hacker's job here is to play defensive with counter ganks and make sure that SOFM doesn't get these lanes rolling or give freedom to someone like Angel to make the bot dive now that he's level 6.
Yep, you completely nailed it. I think as long as Hacker can make sure Suning don't, you know, find a way to accelerate the game, he's doing fine. We've also even seen he does have some aggressive options, right? The fact that he has a mid laner with push, he can look for these invades, try to get an SOFM space, but hey, and that's a great way of stopping SOFM from doing anything, right? If you're in his jungle, if you can see where he is, you have eyes on him, then you're doing fine so far as OMG. And even the bot lane, right? We see Eric right now up in CS. We don't know how big the wave is that he's built up that Huanfeng's catching right now, but it looks like he's at least a wave up.
Yeah. So good stuff. A good start, as I said, as Eric. Arcane shifts away. Actually stops the back here with the minion wave channeling in.
Massive. Yeah, massive from Sword Art. And this is, Eric does not, doesn't have TP, so gonna have to take the long way. Sora's gonna try and hold the wave, but you feel like Huanfeng and Sword Art can definitely zone him off. Yep, and there we go.
There goes that 10 CS discrepancy that was held before. And a bit of turret plating on the back of it as well with Demolish makes it super easy. So Huanfeng going to be in a much better position. Also spots out Hacker at the red buff.
And it looks like Suning's bot lane just needs 2 more waves, and they should be at the level 6 point. Actually, might be this wave. But so that's when we can start seeing more aggression. And this is what we expected from Suning, right? Playing for these early Drakes and just trying to start snowballing these up. Probably at the 8-minute mark, going to try to get that trade for Rift Herald. We can assume that Huanfeng is at a pretty good point where he can back after picking up those waves and that plate gold as well.
Plus, we wait for Angel's first ulti of the game, which is going to be influential around then. Plus, Bin, if he does change lanes or moves anywhere else, has TP if needed. Hacker actually getting some deep vision now before we get there. Cyclone used in the top lane. Bin under turret, now going to Hextech Ultimatum Curse. Has he gone too far, Lyric? No, not yet.
But see, this is why I expected the Jax to come out, because the Wukong matchup isn't as unfavorable as the one you pointed out the other day with the, was it FPX
Gimgoon versus Xiaoshang, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Wukong having a fine time in this lane. We even look at his inventory right now, just stacking all those long swords.
Oh, yeah. And both ultis used. And teleport not available for Curse, though, who has to back away. Now, that Herald you're talking about has actually spawned. And with the TP used by Bin, with the Sheen in hand, and a bit of Longsword and Ruby Crystal, should be able to get the shove and set Suning up for this.
So Suning's bot lane would definitely need to rotate, though, because as we've been seeing, with both their soul lanes have priority. So if Suning's bot lane doesn't follow, it would be very easy for OMG to pick it up. But we already see Sword Art and Huanfeng on their way, so Suning going to start this one up.
And Eric and Sora are back in their lane, backing away. So first Herald of the game seems easily secured at this point by Suning. Hacker on the top side for the remnants of anything that could come from this, but there we go. Now, where do you drop this? How do you push the tempo here? Is it through mid, create space for Angel?
This is one of the ones where I feel like it's kind of arguable where you could put it. Like, I almost always favor putting it mid, especially against comps like this that actually do have like really good wave clear coming out with the Azir. So it could be pretty hard to break down mid tier 1 without something like a Rift Herald, but you always have the one coming up in the future as well. I'd say your other argument could be just dropping it top, starting to snowball Bin ahead on this Camille, but he's obviously done fine in the isolated 1v1 so far. We actually don't see too many teams try to accelerate their, scaling side lane champions. They feel fine just sitting up there in the 1v1.
Because suiting of a team comp that's like, if they get accelerated, then matching the 1-3-1 or the TF in the side lane / Camille becomes difficult, correct?
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
How do you ever match this?
Matching the Camille will be pretty impossible once we hit that 3-item mark for Bin. They're going to have a fine time answering just Fate. We don't expect Angel to really be able to freely hit turrets unless, like OMG, are 5-manning somewhere else and Angel's just given leeway to do it.
Okay. Well, at this point, keep track here of SOFM where he decides to put that down. Bin receiving a pretty large wave here.
And he's already 2 CS up even without catching that wave, so we do expect him to be quite a bit ahead.
Should be close to getting another core item here for the Trinity Force. Should be the Phage coming up next. And
yeah,
you know what?
He should definitely have Phage as well as maybe even having both daggers.
Okay. Very calm game for what I was expecting.
Yeah, same. I mean, I guess for OMG's comp, you're kind of like, okay, well, this is expected for Suning. I mean, they found both objectives pretty easily, right? OMG didn't contest, so they didn't necessarily need to find picks to try to translate that into something.
Yeah. At the very least, waiting for Angel's first ulti of the game. We're 10 minutes in, and much like we've talked about, when it's like that 11, 12-minute point where you're like, okay, where's the first destiny of the game? Where is it going? What's the impact that it has?
Yeah, and the thing is, we look at OMG's bot lane right now, right? They have all summoners up. Ooh, actually, let's ignore bot lane, because it looks like they want to set up a gank on mid with Angel's Destiny.
Maybe to get there quicker, and Channekel's arrow being positioned as well, right through the mid lane. It's getting fired. Or at least, no, that's the scrying orb. Just wait, because Gold Cut will be able to set it up. Kicked! Back home.
Yeah.
All right. That's one way to send Icon packing.
Yes, it is. That was pretty nice.
Was it?
Great job, SOFM.
And OMG just grouped on mid. That was one ulti used by SOFM. Fong goes back to the bottom lane to push meanwhile. And this is what I want. Here we go. Cyclone first. The shield given over to Bin. Double Cyclone. Hextech Ultimatum still there. The flash from Flash uses his ulti under turret. Here's the Destiny for the trade. Curse will die, but first blood given over to Curse.
Look, at the start of this segment, I said, this guy to me looks like a top 6 top laner in the league when he's on a bottom tier team. And, top 6 might not sound like that much for people who watch LEC and LCS. We have 17 teams in the LPL,
we do.
And this guy is on the 14th place team right now. So, being in that...
Plus, we've got sub-top laners as well. They hit that list.
Yeah, they do. I mean, heck, we have like 20, 21 top laners in the league.
Well, at least Angel gets a kill here for Suning, and there is going to be a larger trade with Teleport being used. Is this too dangerous? Well, Curse running in. Going to be gold carded. Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike. SOFM flashes. Still has the Rift Herald, but not going to put it down as of, well, now. Okay. That was an interesting play.
Yep, so going to get some gold onto these two members, and at least they are going to open up a side lane, so Bin at some point will be able to take advantage of this. Obviously not right now, as we saw Curse winning that 1v1, but good response by OMG just to take an objective on the opposite side of the map, and we talked about it. This is what we want to see from OMG. We want to see them draft this more slow scaling comp.
And Channekel's are used. Eric, even under turret, flashes away, but Fong pretty much uses his own flash and auto attacks him to death. Solid kill with 80 carries, not something you say much. Teleport's being used, Icon in first. Has the Emperor's Divide, but the Dazzle locks him down underneath their turret. And OMG will get that trade kill once again. 2 for 2, and action's starting to roll across the rim.
Yeah, 2K gold lead for Suning at this point, though, so it's good to see, but sad they weren't able to get closer to that 4 stack for Dragons, since OMG obviously did pick up the last one, but presents a better opportunity to try to just stack Infernals. I mean,
just watch this.
That was really straightforward.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. The animation, right? Seeing the ultimate go up as he flashed down.
Worth a shot. Eric's first game. He's like, I want people to know my name.
Yeah, let's put that out there again. This is this guy's first game
in the LPL ever.
It happens. Still a very new player, even in general. He's not like one of our players that spent years in the LDL.
Yep.
He's only been in the LDL for 1 year. So OMG going to put some effort into grooming him up to be, you know, a top-tier player in the future.
Did I ask you before the show, have you seen, you know, Billy Madison, the Adam Sandler movie?
Yes. Yes, you did ask me that.
You know,
as you were watching the clips and giggling.
Oh, good, because I thought Eric's coming in, and all I could think was, Eric! But yeah, good to see a man of culture. I'm not sure, I didn't look into why his name's Eric, but I think it's a very innovative name.
I always love names like that. What was Steve? I miss Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Rockhead
That's
Steve.
good. Angel set into a dazzle. Goes golden. Is there any help for him? No. So he's just dead.
Yes, yes he is. There we go.
Okay, well, Angel caught
Great
out.
screen and everything. Hysterics.
Man. OMG gonna get mid.
Yeah. OMG. And now, I mean, OMG gonna be able to turn to that Rift Herald as well. Eric, though, might be in some danger.
We will see. What comes first, mid or bot? Well, Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands on Eric. He doesn't cleanse from the last players. Kick into the walls of big reality. Sonic Wave resonating. Strike and SOFN gets a kill and gets out. Once again, Eric in a bit of trouble as forward with the dazzle. Nice combo from OMG. They get the turret, but no kill.
And, like, that's definitely a mistake by Eric himself, but also sad that no one on the team can be like, hey, man, we're trading side for top side right now. We're going to take mid turret. We're going to take Herald. We don't know where Suning are, which means Suning spot side, of course, you know, back up. So I do kind of blame the experienced members on OMG as well. Unless they did tell him that, and Eric's like, no, guys, I want CS.
I'm good.
Yeah.
There's real, don't worry about it. At the very least for OMG, with this Herald in their back pocket now as well, Icon's got 2 kills. A snowballing as this early on is a feels good. And once again, Icon ahead of the clock, much like he was in the last series versus Vici Gaming. You can see at the top of the standings, top of the gold standings, I should say. Angel and Icon are in the lead, but TF Passive does help a lot with that.
Yeah, I'm going to take another turret as well. And, I mean, we're going to get close to a point that if OMG just group as a 5-man, they almost have no way of really being able to lose to Suning. Maybe if you're able to get right on top of Icon, you know, something with the Hex Tech Ultimatum, SOFM finding a great angle, something along these lines and blowing him up, maybe. But, I mean, that sounds very conditional as it is.
As, we're going to go back to a farming state for a bit because we're going to wait a minute 20 till this next dragon. Infernal Soul on the Rift here is a nice little feels good if you're Suning and able to achieve that.
Yep. We also see that Icon did pick up the Oblivion Orb, so it's going to be really nice, especially once he can get some Source Boots. SOFM actually going straight into Spirit Visage.
Yeah, not something you see
actually
often.
really interesting.
Yeah. SOFM kind of the innovator of these builds though, right? He was the one who pulled out Redemption Olaf in a previous year that actually went global.
Things like that, right? That's innovation. That's something people are going to copy, people are going to take, but...
I mean, Lee Sin has been around for a while. I think his builds, it's not innovation, it's just what you feel comfortable with. That's one way to put it. So, if you just build that because Icon's fed, what's the decision behind this?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't think I agree with it.
Well said.
Yeah. I think just going, you know, a more standard route, something like the Black Cleaver would make a bit more sense.
He was part of the Mad Scientist Squad.
Especially the fact that, right, we said they need to accelerate the pace of the game. They need to get ahead. But obviously, he views himself playing a more supportive role, being that Dragon's Rage bot. Is that what it's called, Dragon's Rage?
Yeah, but even then, we've seen like Knight's Vow, right? We've seen Redemption Lee Sin in the past. So I guess there are other options. Each to their own, though, is the best way of putting this. Each to their own. Who are we to question SOFM?
I agree.
The man, the myth, the legend.
This man's been playing League of Legends for a very long time.
He was, yes, in Season 2 in the GPL. As Destiny's going to be used a second time this game. Where is he going?
Looks like they're just trying to get like good control of where OMG are on the map.
Moves up 2 centimeters.
OMG made a good play, though, right? They just stayed stacked as a 5-man core. Pretty much everyone surrounding Icon and Eric and making sure he can't find some kind of good flanker engage. Doesn't even have a zombies or anything yet, so if he did Destiny, he'd pretty much just be dead.
Janica Sarah being launched down. Eric just dodges away. He's been zoned away by himself. Finn jumps in, Curse to his rescue. The Cosmic Radiance gets everyone to safety here. SOFM trying for the steal, gets a kick, but it is secured by OMG. While it is Icon who goes down, the most fed member, Curse getting low himself as well. And Suning are taking this fight. Sora very low and Finn waiting for the hook shot. Sonic Wave onto Eric once again as he's burning down the safeguard to the ward. Sora Will he survive here? Nope. Bin. SOFM jump on over.
Oh.
It's a bit of damage, but never mind. SOFM only just survives. Sora lives. But Suning will take the fight.
I mean, you highlighted it, right? The most important thing is the fact that they did take down Icon. He's pretty much the big damage dealer on the team right now. And even then, right, you're in Ezreal and Azir, so you're not necessarily that strong at this point in the game. This is where Suning still have the opportunity to fight back. And Huanfeng doing a great job putting out massive DPS that game. And I really want to see how Icon goes down here because my attention was on this. Was Eric getting caught out on the side? And we just see Icon in the back. The Nautilus ultimate comes down. Lee Sin kick in. What ultimately took him down? Oh, looks like it was Twisted Fate Q.
Okay.
So overall, just very good CC chain coming out from Suning to keep him locked down long enough. Wasn't able to do anything in that fight. And then great follow-up by Suning just to make sure, hey, I mean, this is just Suning being extremely aggressive, but, you know.
Good dazzle.
It worked out.
And just survived. Nicely done. Well, I will say Curse going and helping Eric in the fight was a bit of a detriment in the end. And now for Curse 1 versus 2, he does have Cyclone available, but he's almost dead as he starts this one off. Into the clone and just dead to Bin, who now has a kill of his own. And Suning, after that fight, after that play, after Curse getting caught out, are 4,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, and this is one of the plays you see very often right now, especially with Twisted Fate back in the meta, or even when you just have double TP soul laners in general, just sending your 2 soul laners to the side, finding that pick. And, you know, right now, Baron's not a threat, but let's even say we were at something like a 35 or 40-minute mark. Enemy team can threaten Baron since both your soul laners obviously could TP over and dissuade that anyway.
But we are to the point where, for at least OMG, to delay this game, go a little bit longer. They've got an Infernal under their belt, so they do have the option of keeping Suning at bay for those extra couple of dragons longer. As Enchanted across the arrow, Eric! Not again. Well, this is a rough debut for this man.
Do you think we see SMLZ next game?
I think we see SMLZ next game. But to be fair again, first game in the LPL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault him at all. Like,
it's hard.
Is he making mistakes? Of course. But he's also facing the 4th place LPL team in the league right now in his first game ever.
Yes, he is. And Suning are on the Baron at 21 minutes in with a man disadvantage there. Ezreal not up for 10 more seconds. Moving into a choke. Sword Art flashes. Dazzle won't do too much. Cosmic Radiance used early into the fight as Sword Art is the target. But everything used on the support as he finally goes down. Hacker engages with Icon sending Bin back, but low health pass for OMG while Bin a bit too far forward. Icon still healthy enough. Suning have separated with SOFM and Bin dodging from the True Shot barrage.
Icon played that fight so well, honestly.
He did.
Great ultimate, great job of kiting back, dealing as much DPS as possible with those soldiers, stopping the Baron, and again, they're the ones with Dragon Lead right now. They have 2 Drakes to 1 for the side of Suning. And Icon, I'm sorry, is going to get massive, despite buying the Morellos, which I don't really like here, but you know, still does a lot of damage.
Yeah, he should have himself a 3rd item after that fight as well. We'll have a look again because this is Suning favored with the numbers advantage.
Yeah, good stun coming out from Sora. Great ultimate as well. Curse doing a good job of peeling the front line, and then here we're going to see Icon dealing so much DPS. But great job by the supporting members of the team to keep members like Angel and Huanfeng at bay as well. And they stopped the Baron, which was the most critical thing.
Can I be critical in my own right, though?
Yes.
Angel didn't do much in that fight. He was on the wrong side of the wall and had to walk all the way around. By the time he got in, he kind of already lost Sword Art, so numbers advantage didn't matter in that case. But Suning still 4,000 gold up. However, we did talk about OMG wanting to, delay this game, get those 3-4 items on the Azir. Same with Eric.
The 2 big advantages are for Huanfeng and SOFM. Looks like both of them are about 2k up over their lane counterparts. Looks like top and mid are just about even. Sora slightly down. Which is actually pretty surprising. I guess 4k gold lead, it's completely on jungle and AD carry.
Mm-hmm. The way this game's going, what's coming up? You're going to see a nice bound next as well. OMG starting the Baron. This will be spotted out. But with the Fed Azir, they think, hey, why not? Just to threaten Suning nearby, they'll peel off. While Suning have the inside track mid. They're thinking about going back here, Lyric. Almost, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah. So Suning can just default to Dragon, but definitely going to need to send some members here to dissuade. Curse going to potentially have an amazing flank angle.
Still thinking about it.
I like it. They're just pulling Suning's attention off Dragon, which is really important. Now, Are they going to go back?
It's Dragon. Yeah, they're going to go back. 4th time's the charm.
Yeah, they're going to
all 5 committing this time.
Keep this one going. Though Angel's pushing in mid, as our observer is showing us now.
Has Destiny available, going to use it as Baron's getting low at 4K now. This is where OMG run away or go on to Angel, apparently, who barriers immediately. The Emperor's Divide was shocking this time around. SOFM with the 3-man kick, but the Cosmic Radiance onto 4. As SOFM and Curse are fighting in the top side while OMG are grouped on up. Bin gets Icon, and once again, the fight could be ruined from here with the most bed member down. The ultimate burn by Bin, but a double already for Curse, who killed SOFM in the back of that fight. But Lyric, they're going up to the top to maybe their death unless they peel off here. Eric chasing after Angel. And there you go. One good moment from the newbie with a true shot barrage almost tagging the bottom line.
I'm honestly surprised OMG came on ahead because SOFM found the kick onto Icon. Icon ended up in the middle of the whole team. Can Sword Art and Huanfeng stop this?
It's only 2 versus 4.
I don't think they can.
They have to walk away, and OMG with the Baron. With the Baron in hand. Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, so it sucks it took this long, but in the last like 2.5 weeks of the split, OMG found their style. OMG found, hey, let's just pick scaling. Let's just pick Azir, Orianna in the mid lane most games. Let's get our AD carry onto something, whether it's the Aphelios, again, the Kog'Maw, the Ezreal, something along those lines, and put the other 3 members all on tanks such as Peel. And despite the loss to Vici, they looked better. They looked to me like they probably should have won that series.
Yep.
And now coming in here, I don't think Suning are out from this. I mean, it is still OMG. They're actually still winning in gold. But it's still nice to see more signs of life from OMG.
Definitely. Sitting 3-9, you want to see what happens in 2021. And I know I said that in spring towards the summer split, but being the optimistic I am, OMG with layers of control running through mid with the Baron buff as Dragon gets taken down, but SOFM, is the flank going to be successful? Because I believe almost spotted out by that ward. Maybe not actually, but he will by this one.
I really want to see where Icon goes next with his build. You do have a lot of like, you know, tankier members on the side of Suning, so something like a Leandris.
Do you upgrade that Lost Chapter? Because that's been sitting there for a while.
No, I don't think you need to upgrade it.
Okay.
I mean, the big reason why champions like Azir buy Lost Chapters just for like mana and poke in lane, you don't actually need to upgrade it. Though a lot of mid laners in LPL do,
yeah.
like Rookie.
I mean, I think it's very, from memory, it's cost efficient, question mark?
I mean, I think in LPL a lot of players just think of, you know, hey, what's going to be the biggest burst of stats right now?
Yeah.
Not necessarily about what's efficient. This would be a region that LS would hate casting.
I know, shout out to Shakros, who did a bit of a breakdown of the build of Rookie last night with some of those thoughts in mind. As Eric's hitting away at this turret with the rest of OMG with Baron buff. SOFM appearing for a flank angle, and Bin and Curse are just button heads, as they have been all game long, but Curse in a better position. As here comes Bin, backing away. We're just courting around the jungle. OMG going to keep pushing in here for the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and I mean, they have no reason not to, right? Oh!
Okay.
Eric starting to find some confidence.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I've been bullied all game long. I want some time in the sun. Do not put SMLZ in game 2.
Keep your eye on the mini-map, though. Not only that turret in the mid lane, but we did see Bin was posturing to come, but he's going back.
Going straight towards mid. They're going to sacrifice the inhibitor turret for getting one of their own. But now that he's spotted out, here's the rush from OMG.
They know they can't 5v5. That's why they're not trying to match. At best, they hope to get an inhibitor for an inhibitor. But yeah, you're right. Curse is there.
And Bin will not get the inhibitor turret. Doesn't try and commit. Backs instead after Curse goes through. And OMG just get a free inhibitor.
Yeah, overall nice to see from OMG. That's going to be massive in 2 minutes and 40 seconds when Dragon is coming back up.
Yes. Well, OMG with all the cards. And again, that all in that 5 versus 5. Very favored by OMG, especially with the lead that they picked up with Icon having early items. You asked about the build. I'll be waiting here. There's 3 items on Eric, so surely Icon. Okay. Flat out Zhonya's is a good way to go. We'll hold on to that Lost Chapter for a little bit longer.
I guess it makes sense for the fact that we've seen how these fights are going, right? And it is going to what we talked about earlier on, where it's either been, Camille Hextech ultimatum onto him, or what's been more typical is this finding a bunch of great insects onto him and kicking him into the team. So going to be able to continuously buy time, and things will go like that Baron fight where it turned out, hey, OMG still does come out ahead if Eric and the other members are playing well. And that's something to highlight as well. I think especially Hacker and Sora, there we go, right on our screens. I was going to say, have been having really tremendous games. They've been doing great jobs in these team fights. Sora's had some great dazzles, had some amazing ultimates. Hacker as well doing a great job with the ultimates, getting right in the middle of Suning and making sure that, especially their key carries like Huanfeng and Angel can't follow up with damage.
Makes sense when Hacker's been on the tip of our tongues as well, but top side, that's a Hextech ultimatum on the clone. Gold card used, been very quick to pull the trigger. Heal burnt for movement speed, and that was 2 big ultis down for nothing.
Yeah, and now, I mean, when plays like that don't work, it's so massive because now OMG can just freely push in the mid lane, as we see here. I don't expect OMG to be able to take another structure, though. I feel like it is mostly about controlling vision on the bottom half of the map and just waiting that 1 minute mark for the dragon to come back up.
Suning in a bit of a pickle here, Lyric.
Yes.
Bit of a pickle. We're watching this again because Hextech ultimatum was used very preemptively.
Not a bit of a pickle. It feels like, like a whole pickle.
Like a gherkin.
Yes, like a gherkin.
Yeah, like a big old gherkin. Angel's here again. Now, they've committed 2 people here, and Curse will get gold carded into the clone, but once again, it's a super minion wave. So OMG like, all right, we'll go mid.
I mean, the great thing for the side of Suning, right, as we can see here, they don't really have engage. It would be Icon going in with the, as Dagny says, the swoop and boop, or, maybe a ooh.
Or Enchantical Sahara. The Dazzle not going to connect though. Dreadline pulls in Hacker. Now Angel's back with them as well. Cosmic Radiance used, keeps Hacker away as he ults away. Bin's behind with the TP, and Hacker's now in a bit of a pickle. Icon sets down the 80 carry back into the team. Bin now finally joins with the Hextech ultimatum back up onto Eric, but he's just getting destroyed by this Ezreal as Curse now joins the play, has a blast cone to get into the base. A good kick for defensive measures, but Cyclone onto the back line, and that's it. OMG have won this game, and Suning are sent packing with Eric's first triple kill of the LPL.
Exactly. Eric looking great once he got the confidence after the early game mishaps, and nice win coming out from OMG.
And Icon's ulti that sets Huanfeng back. And one of the most fed members on Suning. Dying sets up OMG for game number 1. And a surprising game when Suning are the 4th place team running against OMG, who have hardly a playoff chance.
I'm really disappointed by this. Not for Suning, for OMG, by the fact that they found solid roster and solid form right when it pretty much doesn't matter. Icon is playing so